Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tigers right-hander Michael Fulmer appears to be back. In his last two starts, a 1.29 ERA for Fulmer, trying to make it 3 consecutive outstanding starts here today. It is a warm and humid afternoon as we welcome you to Great American Ballpark. It is game 2 in the series, Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for game 2 in the series. Tigers try and bounce back. Rod, they will do so with Michael Fulmer on the mound, and that's been good news lately.
Well, they got the right guy on the mound. That much we do know. You talked about his last couple of starts, 14 innings, only 2 earned runs. The fastball's been firm. First inning, 97. 8th inning, 97. I'm looking forward to him going out there today and slowing down the Cincinnati Reds team, which had its way against Tigers pitching last night.
All right, game 2 in the series coming up, and right now we send you to the Call Sam Studios and John Keating. Series, Reds won the opener last night 9-5, although the Tigers made it very interesting in the 9th inning when they scored 5 times, erasing a 9-0 deficit to get to within 4 runs. But in the end, Cincinnati would win it. It is a warm and humid afternoon here in Cincy today as the Tigers wrap up this series. The Tigers starting lineup here this afternoon presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Here is Ron Gardenhire will line them up today. It'll be Martin Castellanos, or Candelario rather than Castellanos. Goodrum, Batting cleanup again, McCann and Jones in the lineup. Iglesias, Machado, and Fulmer your bottom three. Of course, there is no DH here in the National League ballpark, so Tigers will not have these services again of Victor Martinez here today. And the Tigers, despite their loss yesterday, had won 5 in a row and still playing pretty good baseball, Rod, and they certainly are still trying to do much better on the road in terms of their record.
Yeah, that and the fact that they're trying to get back to 500. It seems like every time they inch their way close to 500, they fall back a step or two. They were a game out of 500 yesterday. Now they're 2 back. So they're still trying to get there at the same time, get a win. Happy flight over to Cleveland where they know they're going to see a good baseball team.
Here is the starting pitcher today for the Reds. His name is Tyler Mahle, and he is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Well, most of the right-handers are going to get a steady diet of fastballs and the left-handers. Mahle's one of those guys that has a big arm. His fastball goes anywhere from 89 all the way up to 96 miles an hour. And his slider, we're being told, is a huge weapon for him, especially against right-handers. You see he has 68 strikeouts, just 28 base on balls, and he's very young. Just 23 years old. And let's take a look at the defense behind Mahle this afternoon. Well, the very talented, and I mean very talented center fielder, Billy Hamilton out there. He'll run down everything. And Winker and Shebler also on the corners in the outfield. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Joey Votto in the infield, and Tucker Barnett starting catcher once again this afternoon, catching the day game after the night game.
It would be nice to see the Tigers use the home run ball here this afternoon, and if they combine for 3 or more homers, simply bring in a copy of the Tiger box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Well, Leonis Martin getting set to lead things off, had a huge game in yesterday's contest. Tyler Mahle is all set to go to work. It'll be Martin, Candelario, and Castellanos in the Tigers' first inning. Early start here today, as Rod mentioned, day off tomorrow, and then 3 against the division-leading Cleveland Indians.
And Martin was one of the few offensive players for the Tigers that got loose in yesterday's game. He was on base every single time up in yesterday's game, a career high. He was on base 5 times.
Martin also does very good work against the Reds. He has a personal 7-game hitting streak versus Cincy.
You might as well drop in the fact that he's about 400 too on first pitches.
Third baseman Suarez in tight on the grass in case Leonis is thinking, but here we go. First pitch is in there for a strike on Martin. Bernstein advantage is Leonis's numbers against these Reds. 609 career, 14 of 23.
How about the OPS over 1,500?
Swing and a miss. He chased up top, and the count goes 0-2.
Tigers are going to have to lay off that fastball upstairs. I was watching some video on Mahle, a couple of his starts, and he lives upstairs with that heater in the mid-90s, and they're going to have to make sure that he gets that ball down, or it's going to be a long afternoon for some of these batters. They're going right back up there again.
Swing and a miss, and Martin is dusted on 3 pitches. 1 out.
And you saw the glove of Barnhart, the catcher, going right back up to the top of the strike zone with that 91-mile-per-hour fastball that Leonis swung right through.
It'll bring up Candelario. Jamer trying to get it going now. He is hitting 167 in the month of June. So he has slowed considerably, yet he is still getting on base at a pretty good clip. He'll drive this one in the air toward left field. Hit well. Winker back to the wall. Looks up and gone. It carried out to left field. An opposite field home run for Jamer.
Sometimes you can watch a player, and you brought up his numbers. I mean, he was under 200 for the first 20 games of the month of June. But I told you 3 days ago in Chicago, I had a feeling he was starting to see the baseball a little bit better. He had 3 base on balls that day. Didn't do a whole lot yesterday, but today he catches that fastball at 90 and flips it in the first row to left field. That's a nice job by Jamer.
Home run number 11 for Candelario. Into the first row. Here is Castellanos.
A lot of Tiger fans out there in left field.
Jamer now with 31 RBIs. His first hit of the series is a big one.
A lot of orange out there. Old English D.
1 ball and 1 strike on Castellanos. Nicholas 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Still 307 on the year. Malley missing low and away as he bounces one in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Nicholas is a really good breaking ball hitter, one of the better breaking ball hitters in baseball these days. And Malley throws a lot of sliders to the right-handers.
2-2 now on Nicholas. Malley is only 23 years old. He hails from Newport Beach, California.
He's spoiled.
In 3 starts in the month of June, his ERA is a little over 1. That's a generalization there, isn't it? Great scenery and a great place to grow up, I would imagine, Newport Beach. And there's a ball outside, and the count fills now 3-2.
And best fastball of the afternoon so far by Malley. That was 93.
Here's a 3-2. Spoiled back out of play by Castellanos.
How about Sal Romano last night for the Cincinnati Reds? I mean, he pitched a really good game against the Tigers. I mean, he just shut them down.
His fastball last night sat at about 95, 96.
He touched 98 last night as well. Had a good slider. He pitched well. There he is. Big Sal.
Slice right to the second baseman on one hop. Jeanette will throw him out.
If you didn't tune in last night, here's Sal Romano's night. He's a promising prospect for them. He had been struggling up until his last start, and he pitched well 5 days ago against Kansas City. Pitched well last night against Tigers as well. 7 innings, over 100 pitches. He had some strikeouts. He got several swings and misses. Well, he was good.
And he's been on a pretty good stretch now for them. That's 2 starts in a row in which he's been very good, allowing just 1 run over 2 starts.
Starting pitchers, man, the day after start, they can just sit there in that dugout and chill, can't they?
Best job in the world, I think. The day after a very successful start. Nico Goodrum batting cleanup again today for the Tigers. Swing and a miss.
There's another one of those high fastballs. We'll just hope that they can start to lay off of it. It's tough to do, though. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Nico was 2 out of 3 in the opener last night. 6 home runs this year. He's on pace for 13 for the season. His first real extended stay in the big leagues. And Goodrum has been used literally everywhere on the field, but a lot of different spots in the lineup as well. With no Victor Martinez, he has hit cleanup the last 2 games. Malley now with the 1-2.
Ooh,
up and in. 2-2.
Watch your lips. This Reds team, they will pitch inside aggressively. He stood Nico straight up.
Fouled back out of play.
For the most part, Malley will throw fastballs to the left-handed batters. I mean, 60 to 70% of the time, and regardless of the count. However, to the right-handed batters, once he gets ahead, he likes to go to his breaking pitch, and the breaking pitch of choice for Malley is his slider. Little breaking ball right there off the outside corner that was spoiled by Nico Goodrum.
McCann would bat next if Nico were to reach. Two has popped up foul back out of play. Pretty good battle going on here between Malley and Goodrum. 9th coming up in this at bat. Tigers had a 10-pitch at bat by Jacoby Jones in the 9th inning last night as part of that big rally the Tigers put together. And another foul by Goodrum.
Yeah, Malley has thrown Nico everything but the kitchen sink. He's seen the fastball, he's seen the curve, he's seen the slider. He hasn't busted out the changeup as of yet. Here comes the changeup.
Popped up foul.
He tried everything else.
That didn't work either. Nico's still alive.
I don't know why it happens this way, but a lot of times when you see a lengthy at bats where that batter was fouled off 5, 6, 7 pitches, the end result is usually a good one for the offensive player. He has seen everything. As long as he stays in the strike zone, you lay off that high fastball. Here it is. Lay off of it, though.
Swing and a miss. He couldn't do it. And he struck him out. Malley fans 2 in the inning. Tigers strike first, though. Jamer goes deep the other way. Candelario hits his 11th of the year. Michael Fulmer to the mound in this one, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Yeah, Michael got his third victory of the season 5 days ago. He was dynamite in that start. His fastball was clocked at 95. He had a really good slider, an outstanding changeup. He'll need to be that good here today against the Cincinnati Reds team, which had a good offensive night last night.
Yeah, they sure did, the Reds, last night. It'll put up 13 hits in the ball game en route to the 9-5 win.
And the first fastball that Michael Fulmer will throw here this afternoon is probably going to come right here. It'll be about 95 miles an hour, maybe above 95.
Scott Schebler leads it off, and he fouls the first one back.
And he'll maintain that same velocity all the way until he leaves the contest this afternoon. He's cut from a different cloth, Michael Fulmer.
Schebler, 278, 9 home runs, provides a little power at the top of the lineup for Jim Riggleman. Fulmer's 0-1. 0-2 now on Schebler.
A couple fastballs by Fulmer up top, too. Maybe he'll follow the lead of Malley, the starter for Cincinnati here today, that's got a couple of strikeouts on fastballs above the belt buckle.
Fulmer in search of his 4th win of the year. Only 1 run in each of his last 2 starts. 7 innings each against Minnesota and Cleveland. 2 divisional opponents, the Tigers needing victories against those 2 teams, and Fulmer is able to deliver. Again, the 0-2.
think Fulmer came to the ballpark today with the mindset that he needs to stay out there for a while today for his team. And the bullpen was used quite a bit in last night's game after Matthew Boyd only lasted 4 innings.
Swing and a miss. Schebler's out of there, one gone. Here's the rest of the lineup for the Reds, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Following Schebler, you've got Barnhart and Votto hitting third, Scooter Gennett batting cleanup, Suarez, Winker, and a bottom three of Peraza, Malley, and Billy Hamilton. The pitcher again batting eighth, and Hamilton batting ninth. Here is Tucker Barnhart. Look at the makeup of the lineup here this afternoon. A lot of lefties and switch hitters for Jim Riggleman. Ball up top that barely hit him, and Barnhart is aboard. I think barely nicked him.
Oakland University brings you the Tigers starting defense. In the outfield today, it's Jacoby Jones that gets the start in left field. Leonis Martin anchored in center field. You know, Castellanos is the everyday right fielder. Candelario Iglesias Machado back at second base this afternoon. Nico Goodrum, he slides over to first. And James McCann getting the nod behind the plate, catching Michael Fulmer.
Joey Votto, the batter. Rifles one foul down the right field line.
And Votto turned on that first pitch fastball in the mid-90s by Michael Fulmer. Votto stands right on top of the plate. I mean, literally right on top of the plate, and he chokes up about 3 inches, and he dares you to throw the fastball inside.
Votto last night on base 3 times. He walked twice, and of course hit that grand slam early in the game off Boyd, which really set the tone for the entire evening. And Votto looks at the ball outside, 1-1. 302 this year for Votto. The home run that he hit last night was only his 7th of the year, but it was a big one. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Votto.
Yeah, Michael Fulmer has come out this afternoon the exact same way that he has been his last 2 outings. Lots of fastballs, lots of overpowering, explosive fastballs.
Apparently Fulmer loves pitching during the day. A 1.94 ERA during day games this year. Votto backs out of there, and that'll miss inside. 2-2.
97 right there.
Barnhart at first with 1 out. Votto spoils it back out of play. Joey Votto was an MVP. He won it a few years back, but he is also a guy that's usually in the top 10 in voting in the National League. 5 top 10 finishes in the MVP voting.
And he usually does that performing for a last place club.
Yeah, the Reds coming into play in this one well under the 500 mark. 20 games under 500. And that one just missed. And now Votto has worked the count in his favor, 3-2.
And Votto is one of those guys that Jim Riggleman, the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, will trust enough probably to start. And Barnhart here from first base.
Runner goes, and it's a bouncing ball foul down the third base line.
Already a lot of foul balls this afternoon on pitches thrown by Michael Fulmer, which is something that we watch quite often when he's on the mound. And the same thing used to happen to Justin Verlander.
Fulmer this year has gone as high as 112 pitches in a start. Went 92 to get through 7 innings against Minnesota in his last start.
And they've already fouled off 6 pitches today thrown by Michael. 6 of the 14.
Again, the runner goes, and it's strike three called. Thrown on his second, tag in time. Strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. Fulmer with a couple of punch outs, and McCann did the rest. Barnhart thrown out at second base. And we'll go to the second, still 1-0 Tigers. Nothing in favor of the Tigers on the Candelario home run. And stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. James McCann will get it rolling now. It'll be McCann, Jones, and Iglesias in the Tigers second. Facing Tyler Mahle. And McCann batting .244 stands in against Mahle. Griner caught the ball game last night, and Mack behind the dish today looks at ball one high from Mahle. 3 out of 8 in the road trip. Of course, McCann missed a few days with flu-like symptoms. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Four home runs this year for McCann. He's knocked in 20. Ground ball third base side, gobbled up there by Suarez. One away. Well, enjoy an exclusive evening with the 2018 Hall of Fame inductees Alan Trammell and Jack Morris at a celebration dinner. It's Thursday, August 9th at the Motor City Casino Hotel. Select ticket packages include a private meet and greet, commemorative gift, and more. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com/HOF dinner. A great way to spend the night with Tram and Jack. Here's the show up bunt by Jones. That'll draw Suarez in a couple of steps at third. Jacoby did not start last night. Had a really good bat in the 9th inning, though. That's in there for a strike, and now 1-1.
And pretty good chance, even if you don't get the start in the ball game, when you play National League rules, you have to stay ready, because if you're a role player, it's a pretty good chance you're going to get in the game at some point in time doing something. And especially in a night where the starter only lasts 4 innings. Ron Gardenhire used that spot in the lineup last night to get several guys at bats.
Now Mahle with the 1-2, and he went up top and Jones would not chase.
Yeah, you'd have to say that a couple of months into the season, Ron Gardenhire probably the manager of the year in the American League. That's just how good he's been, the positive influence he's had on this team.
Swing and a miss. He couldn't lay back that time. And there's that elevated fastball you've been speaking of. 3 strikeouts now for Malley.
Malley will stay up there until the Tigers hitters make an adjustment, and then once they make an adjustment, he'll work down at the bottom of the strike zone, but not until then.
With 2 outs here is Iglesias. Bend in for a strike.
Yeah, good breaking ball there thrown by Malley. That's the first hitter that he has started off with that breaking ball. Usually he starts guys off with fastballs.
Oh, and 2. He went right back out there, but missed that time. The count 1-2 now on Jose.
Iggy has a pretty good eye, and very seldom does Iggy leave the strike zone. Jose's got that really simple approach where he just kind of holds the bat back in a very firm position. Not a lot of movement with his hands, and he goes directly from that point of contact to where his hands are to the baseball. Point A to point B. He does it rather quickly.
Soft line drive, base hit, right center field. Iglesias on with a 2-out single.
It's a good at bat by Iglesias. He saw a couple of fastballs, 92 and 94. He saw a couple of really good sliders, and the slider that he hit was not a bad pitch by Malley. I mean, this is not a horrible breaking pitch. It's down, it's away, but we talked about Iggy going from point A to point B. Look at him. Point A, point B. Does it quickly, too.
That'll bring up Dixon Machado. Tigers have their second hit. Machado is out at second base in the game today. Fouls it off 0-1.
Iggy is a base stealing threat, especially with 2 outs. As a matter of fact, he's been running the bases more aggressively than any other Tiger so far this season.
Well, staying out with 12 steals this year is good for 10th in the American League. Bouncing ball to short. They'll fire to second for the Force, ending the inning. Scooter Gennett will lead things off for the Reds. He's on an impressive list for the current Tiger. We'll tell you more about that next. Here in Cincinnati today, Scooter Gennett will lead things off for the Reds. Time for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. MLB players with 89 hits, 16 doubles, and 41 RBIs so far this season. It's a pretty impressive list here. Castellanos is on it along with Gennett.
Yeah, Marquez is also having a real good year in Atlanta, but you love the fact that Nicholas Castellanos shows up on this list with Scooter. You talked about Segura in last night's game, and how about Freddie Freeman? Also having a really nice year for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, Freeman, Markakis, they got that Ozzie Albies, a youngster on that team. Dansby Swanson, a lot of good young talent on that team.
A couple of right-handers on that list and 3 left-handers. Scooter's impressive though, man. He is batting .337 right now with 12 driven in and 48 ribbies as we speak, and an OPS over 900.
Gennett, then Suarez and Winker. Fulmer impressive in the first inning, hit a batter but struck out a couple. First one is in there for a strike on Gennett. Tell you what, man, you roll out of bed, you play a 12:30 start here, and you face a guy throwing 97 off the get-go here.
Yep.
The 0-1. Gennett's .337 batting average is good for first in the National League, so he's leading the senior circuit in hitting.
I don't know what happened in Milwaukee with Scooter Gennett, but they basically released him and they allowed the Cincinnati Reds to have him for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, the Reds haven't had a hitter win the batting title since 1973 when Pete Rose did it. And Gennett making a bid this year. Sends one high in the air to right field. Castellanos backing up. Edge of the warning track. One gone.
With Eugenio Suarez coming up, I wanted to go back to 2014 and compare his swing now in 2018 and see what the differences are. He's got much more power these days, but I'm wondering where he's getting it from. And it looks like to me he's getting it from that left knee. You see on the right side of the Cincinnati Reds uniform, he's got much more of a pronounced leg kick. And with that leg kicks allowed him to hit 25 home runs the last couple of years. He probably would have realized this same kind of potential in a Tigers uniform had we kept him, but it's just good to see what kind of adjustments kids make when they're young and when they get a little older.
Well, Suarez right now with a 9-game hitting streak.
It looks like Suarez to me pretty much doing the same exact thing that a lot of hitters are doing these days. They've got that leg kick and trying to create more lift in their swing, trying to hit the ball in the air.
I always thought that more moving parts at the plate made it more difficult to hit. Is that not the case?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Mario, but I also believe too nowadays, and it doesn't make it right, that the hitters don't really, I'm not saying they don't mind striking out, they don't like to strike out, but I mean it's okay to have a leg kick and have moving parts if you're going to hit home runs. I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
very true.
Because the strikeouts aren't frowned upon as much in the game today as they used to be frowned upon. I mean, there used to be some managers, man, if you were striking out a lot, you wouldn't get off the bench.
Yeah. Now I think you're right. It's accepted much more as part of the game today offensively with all of the home runs that have numbers that have skyrocketed.
And pitchers have something to say about that, too. You got beasts like Michael Fulmer on the mound.
He just took care of Suarez. Third strikeout of the game, 2 gone.
That last slider right there was dirty. I mean, after 97-mile-per-hour fastballs, it looks like a fastball all the way. And then all of a sudden at 87, you see it just sort of break to that outside corner.
Here's Jesse Winker. Drilled to center field, and it's going to drop right in front of Martin. It kicks away from him. Winker is on his way to second, and he's in there. It'll be a single and an error on Martin. First hit of the ball game for the Reds.
And the ball hit very sharply off the bat of Winker, and Martin kind of got caught in no man's land. It's an area as an outfielder you hate to be in. you get yourself too close to the baseball, you're not going to leave your feet because you know if it gets past you, it's an inside the park home run. So you do your best to try to keep this ball in front of you. And it trickles off of his right leg, and that allows Winker to get to second.
Tying run now in scoring position for Jose Peraza. I am off to a flying start and Ram picked the stick.
What you got going?
Strikeout and an error.
Ooh.
It's a -2.
You're all right, though, man. You've been in first place for 8 weeks now.
Yes, my lead continues to
That's
shrink.
okay. That's okay, partner. You've been in first place since about April 25th.
Yeah, well. Here's a strike called. You got candy, right?
Yes, I did take candy today, but I need some help. I need some help.
Yeah, you do.
I need some help. It's moving day for me. I need big points.
Candelario's home run in the first inning gave the Tigers the lead, a solo shot the other way. One and two on Peraza, who was batting leadoff in the ball game last night.
And Michael Fulmer using that nasty slider as a weapon today against the right-handers and the left-handers too. He's not afraid to throw that slider to the left-handed batters, but really his off-speed pitch of choice to the lefties is that fading changeup. Michael's got 3 pitches: fastball, slider, change, and they're all good ones.
Laid off that one.
Throwing that slider hard today.
Fulmer already with 3 strikeouts. His high for the season is 9, but we've seen many starts, Rod, where he's been more pitching toward contact.
That's the Michael Fulmer I like a lot, to be honest with you. I like the Michael Fulmer, the pitches to contact on the first 3 pitches, gets lots of ground balls, weak contact. That ensures me that he's going to pitch into the 7th and the 8th inning.
To center field on his horse is Martin, all the way to the warning track. Man, the ball carrying today. That's all for the Reds. Michael Fulmer will step to the plate when we go to the 3rd.
You serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Back here in Cincinnati, as we go to the top of the 3rd, it'll be Michael Fulmer, Leonis Martin, and Jeimer Candelario facing Tyler Malley, who so far in the game has looked pretty good. He has 3 strikeouts, but give up that home run to Jeimer.
He's got a lot of promise. I mean, the fastball's been anywhere from 92 up to 95. He's got a really good breaking ball, not many changeups.
Well, Michael Fulmer will lead things off. He is 0 for 9 career as a hitter, so he's still in search of that first big league hit.
Surprised you didn't take him and pick the stick today. You've been known to do that.
I've gone off the board every now and then.
Huh? You only got a couple of shots. How many more interleague games we got this year?
That's true.
I know you're going to do it.
Swing and a miss. I think you're egging me on here because you want me to do it. Last year I picked JV in Colorado.
And you got a hit.
0-1 on Fulmer. Now Michael has had a rough go of it at the plate. He is 0 for 9 with 6 punch-outs and a double play ball. But that is not what he's paid to do. Malley with the 0-2. It is a cause of concern sometimes for American League managers when their pitchers bat. Swing and a miss, and down goes Fulmer, who had a nice healthy rip. And sometimes you worry that they'll strain themselves, pull a muscle, running down the line, may hurt themselves. So it's a valid concern, I suppose.
Well, when the managers go and play in National League ballparks, they just kind of hold their breath until you leave, because the guys aren't swinging the bat all that often. You worry about obliques. You worry about guys having to slide. I mean, quite frankly, you run about guys sprinting down the line.
Right.
Full speed. I mean, they do run their sprints and different things like that, but it's just different. And when you start doing different things on a baseball field that you're not normally doing on a day-to-day basis, and pitchers don't run the bases.
Well, that last swing by Fulmer was a fairly violent swing for pitchers' standards. And when you're not used to swinging the bat, things can happen. 0-1 on Martin.
And Martin left the strike zone his first time up swinging at that fastball. And there's no doubt that Barnhart, the catcher, will call for it again. And just to see if Martin will swing at it. Suarez backing up now. If you notice where Malley releases his fastball from, and we'll try to get you a really good look at it before he releases the ball. It's almost like he's pushing the ball up there. It's almost like he's throwing uphill. He's not throwing it uphill, but from the time that fastball leaves his hand, it stays right on that same plane until it gets into the catcher's glove. And it's about 92 to 94, and that's why these guys are swinging and missing at that fastball up, because he's got pretty good spin rate on it. And he's just like, it seems like he's pushing it uphill.
He missed way high with that last one. There's Candelario waiting on deck.
And that's why most of his fastballs are up in the strike zone.
Did it again, and down goes Martin, who fans for the second time in this game.
Let's take a look at our big boys, big play of the game. And Jeimer Candelario really has been slowed down in the month of June. But he came up big in the first inning. His first swing of the day. It was a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Exit velocity 93, not real high. The launch angle only 28, but that's a short porch in left field, and he was able to hit it out of here.
Jeimer came in batting 167 in the month of June. But unlike a lot of young hitters, or hitters in general, that go through tough stretches, I think he will avoid those really fall off the cliff stretches, because he just finds a way to get on base. He's been hit a couple of times on the road trip. He's walked a bunch.
Well, I think you bring it up on a nightly basis regarding Jeimer. He sees a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
And a lot of times young kids, when they struggle, it's 1, 2, 3. I mean, you walk out of the dugout and you got 2 strikes on you already. But Jeimer's not that way. He will battle you even when he's not performing very well. That's much I do know. He's gotten a steady diet of fastballs inside. I mean, a steady diet of heaters inside lately. And apparently that's the way opposing teams want to pitch him.
Strike call. Jeimer thought he had a walk. Sam Holbrook said it was a high strike. 3-1. Candelario now has been on base in 10 consecutive games. Now 3-2 on Jeimer.
And that's the one thing Jeimer will show us too, Mario. It's not the first time he's hit a home run the opposite way this year. He's got pretty good power the opposite way when batting left-handed.
I don't want to call it surprising power, but it does make you take notice. And there's his walk. 2 out base on balls for Candelario.
Really the only thing that Candy does not do, and that's steal bases.
We'll bring up Castellanos. Candelario now has picked up another walk, his 32nd of the year, which is a team high for the Tigers. Nick grounded 4-3 his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Sky to right field, slicing toward the corner. Shebler going over, and he'll make the play to retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Billy Hamilton will bat second. All right, Keats, thanks. And here we go in the third. It'll be Malley and then Hamilton and Shebler. Michael Fulmer back to work. And he'll miss low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike on the pitcher, Tyler Malley.
Yeah, we've got a nice little pitching duel brewing here today between Malley and also Michael Fulmer. Both guys real good firm fastballs, good breaking balls, lots of soft contact, lots of swings and misses.
Malley this year 2 of 419 as a hitter. Michael trying to finish him off here. The 1-2 pitch, and it's outside, 2-2. We're talking about this last night. Jim Riggleman likes to put the pitcher 8th in the lineup, and Billy Hamilton batting 9th. He's done that again today, and there's another strikeout for Fulmer.
And speaking of Billy Hamilton, it's always nice to introduce our fans to a player that they don't see very often. In this case, it's Billy, and we're going to show you Billy on the defensive end first. He's got one of the best gloves. He gets one of the best breaks in center field of any center fielder in the game. That's the kind of speed that he has. And then once he gets on base, I mean, this guy is a double and a triple waiting to happen on most nights. The problem is that he just is not doing well offensively. He's under 200. Well, he might have got 200 last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he's at 203 now. Hamilton had a home run, a single, and a walk in the game last night.
And for all the speed that he has, I mean, it's an enigma here in Cincinnati with Billy Hamilton.
Ripped to right field. Castellanos on the run. He'll get there.
Nice play by Nicholas out there. Got a real good jump on that line drive off the bat of Billy.
2 gone.
You just want to keep Billy off the bases because he just creates so much havoc for everybody. The manager, the pitcher, the catcher.
Hamilton, for all of his struggles, is hitting the ball hard in this series. Homer to the game last night. Here is Schebler. It'll back him out of there. 1-0. Schebler struck out in the first. He is 0 for 1, batting .349 this month. Pulled on the ground to second, sharply hit. Machado has it. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Fulmer. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. The Tigers host the Rangers on Saturday, July 7th at 4:10. And the first 10,000 fans receive a Willie Horton 1968 50th anniversary bobblehead, courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or check it out online, tigers.com. Nico Goodrum leads it off. Facing Tyler Mahle here in the fourth. 1-0 Detroit. It is a ball low to Goodrum. Nico a strikeout victim in the first inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mahle 5 strikeouts already in this game. That one breaks outside, 2-1. This is the 3rd interleague start for the young right-hander for the Reds. And his first 2 very good wins over KC in Minnesota. Won them both. He just keeps going up top, doesn't he?
He does, man.
Goodrum behind 1-2. Mahle this year has been about 68% fastball in his pitch breakdown, and he has showed that fastball top of the zone much here this afternoon.
He has through the first 3 frames of the game and 1 batter in, man, he has gotten a ton of swings and misses on the fastball up. Here comes a changeup.
Skied in the air toward right field, right center field, and deep. Hamilton to the wall, leaping, can't get it. Nico Goodrum has hit it out, and the Tigers have a 2-0 lead.
The Southern gentleman from Atlanta, Georgia, Nico Goodrum. Was not a bad pitch by Malley. It was a changeup. And he threw Nico a changeup in his first at-bat today. So Nico had already seen the pitch. But look at him go to the bottom of the strike zone and take this pitch and flip it out to center field. That's power right there. That is real good power by the left-handed batter.
Nico came in this game on pace for 13 homers this year. That is his 7th now. So he has just upped that pace.
Wait a minute. Pace for 13
home runs
this year
for Nico.
He's on pace for more than that, ain't he?
Well, he got 7 now. Yeah, I'll double check that. It does seem low, doesn't it? We're not halfway through.
They must be basing it on his at bats or something.
Yeah,
projected playing time.
Games he's projected to play based on the at bats he's gotten, but he'll get more at bats in the second half because he didn't play as much in April this year. Swing and a miss. Actually, I take it back. His pace was 15 coming in, so that's a little higher now with this home run. Count on McCann, 1-2.
Nico's sharing some information, which is what they do.
Way high that time, 2-2.
What'd you see? See, he's talking about that arm slot that we've been talking about, that release point. Short arm release point. You even saw Nico point. He doesn't throw the ball up top. Machado's like, let me figure it out then. If you were wondering about the swings and misses so far for Malley, he's up to 12 in his 64 pitches thrown.
2-2 on McCann. Solo shots for Candelario and Goodrum. Right back to the mound. Malley will handle this one, and McCann is out.
Here's the Malley delivery in slow motion, and right before he delivers the ball, you're going to see what Nico Goodrum is talking about. He's got the conventional high leg kick, but then when he brings the ball right before he releases it, it's not way up top. He kind of releases that ball out in front of his body, and he kind of pushes it up in the strike zone. And that's why he's getting so many of those fastballs that are riding up in the zone. But he likes to live in the top of the zone anyway.
Chopper up the middle and backhanded by Jeanette. Jones is out, 2 gone. So Malley has gotten a couple of grounders following the Goodrum home run.
And Nico Goodrum sitting there chatting with the assistant hitting coach, Phil Clark. Phil Clark's the one guy, along with Lloyd McClendon, who works a lot with the role players, the guys that don't play every day. He's usually down in that cage and getting guys ready, getting guys swings in between during the course of the game. Mario, they got pretty much 2 coaches now for every position. There used to be 1 pitching coach, 1 hitting coach. I mean, now they got 2 of each.
It has changed a lot in terms of instruction. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think it's kind of trickled down to the minor leagues as well, where it used to be manager, trainer. That was about it.
Yeah, now they have 2 pitching coaches down in the minor leagues. They've got 2 roving hitting end coaches down in the minor leagues.
Well, think about this ball club now with Chris Basio and Rick Anderson heading up the pitching department. 1-2 on Iglesias. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Into center field for Hamilton. Will carry into his glove, and that'll be it for the Tigers. They strike again on the Goodrum home run. TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by Oakland University. Fulmer back to work, and he gives up a rocket sizzling right by him to center field off the bat of Tucker Barnhart.
And you described that perfectly. That was a sizzling rocket.
Leadoff man on. Here's Joey Votto now. The big money encounter brought to you by Menards features Joey Votto, active players with at least a .310 batting average and a minimum of 4,000 plate appearances.
Short list.
All three great hitters. Ichiro was on that list, but he is not an active player anymore. Here is Votto now with the leadoff man on.
Oh boy.
Votto struck out in the first.
He struck out looking, as a matter of fact, in the first inning, and that's when Barnhart was running on the 3-2 pitch. He was thrown out at second base.
Votto's grand slam last night gave the Reds 5 grand slams this year. He has done his best work against right-handed pitching, .355 this year against righties. On the outer edge, 1-2 now on Votto.
And the one thing that Votto has done a lot of, he's hit into a lot of double plays. He has grounded into a team high 9 of them.
Whoa.
Tigers playing the kind of defense right now which would allow them to turn the double play should he hit something on the ground, which is not always the case because sometimes you have defenders playing out of position.
Fly ball left field, hit pretty good. Jones going back right to the wall, leaping to make the catch.
He is such a great athlete.
One away.
And a lot of times when you're coming to the ballpark for the very first time, and Jacoby really has never played in Great American Ballpark, he really doesn't know how far he has to run on that warning track. And a lot of times you'll see guys get on that warning track and not necessarily know where they are, but Jacoby is athletic enough to make the play out there. And when you come to a new ballpark, that's one of the first things that the outfield coach will do with all the outfielders. He'll hit them balls on the warning track, and he'll allow them to take their full strides to see exactly how many steps they have before they run into that wall. Just in case there's a play during the game, they have an idea.
Scooter Gennett with 1 out. We'll say this about the Reds. They have had some really hard hit balls in this game. For as dominant as Fulmer has looked at times. Here's the 0-1. Foul back out of play. Gennett singled in his first 2 at-bats of the ball game last night. Came in batting .337, best in the National League. Eugenio Suarez will be next for the Reds.
It's a nasty slider right there thrown by Fulmer. I'm surprised Gennett was able to get a piece of it, but it kind of gives you an idea of the skill set of Gennett. His bat-to-ball skills are really good. He's got a great name too, Scooter.
Rolled foul again. Why don't we check in with Johnny Kane? What do you say, Johnny?
All right, guys, going back to the old Scooter nickname. His real name's Ryan Joseph Gennett, but when he was a kid, he used to always take his seatbelt off whenever he was going on road trips with his mom. So his mom tried to scare him a little bit, took him to the cop shop, took him down to the police station, put the fear of God into him. And the cops asked Ryan what his name was, and he said, Scooter, which is based off the Muppet Babies character.
Ah.
And so it lives on.
Well, there we go. There's the explanation on Scooter. 1-2 on Gennett.
Johnny's all over it.
Hey, in fairness, I got to give credit to Mr. Pop Culture himself, John Keating, who had the book on Scooter Gennett before any of us did.
Really? You stole that, Johnny?
I borrowed it.
Johnny,
I borrowed it.
You know, in this business, we never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
There's a strike called. He got him looking, and Gennett didn't like it, but he's out number 2.
Yeah, that fastball, 97 miles an hour, thrown by Michael Fulmer, that froze Scooter Gennett. It's an outstanding pitch by Michael. His pitch count's in great shape, too. How about this? Yeah, lowest opponent's average on 4-seam fastballs. And they're hitting him at just a 115 clip. That's better than Maxwell. That's better than Garrett Cole. That's better than Chacin and Tanner Rourke.
Making Fulmer our Chevy most dependable player.
All those guys have really good fastballs. 96, 97 mile per hour fastballs for all those gentlemen.
Suarez, a strikeout in the second. 9-game hitting streak going for Eugenio.
And Michael is today into the Cincinnati Reds with that fastball. Here it is, hit it. It's like Max Scherzer used to always say, I'm going to let my fastball eat.
His was hungry a lot, too.
29 of 52 pitches have been above 95 miles an hour for Michael. He's different. Most guys don't pitch like this these days. They just don't. Even the guys that have the mid-90s fastballs.
Wave and a miss, and Suarez is out of there. 6 strikeouts now for Fulmer. Nothing comes to the leadoff single. It appears Johnny Kane is hungry. We'll see what he's up to next.
Jeanette, they do have a strong German tradition. So with that in mind, they offer 3 different hot sausages from Queen City Wicked Sausages. I knew I was going to butcher that. They offer a chipotle, a jalapeno, and a ghost pepper hot sausage. They top it off with onions and peppers, and so we shall give it a run, guys. Ghost pepper, why not on a 90-degree day?
You're not going to do this.
This one I'm a little bit nervous about.
Does he have the hottest one?
He's got one. Yeah, he does.
Oh, he gonna start sweating, man. He gonna start sweating.
Well, we're going to show you just exactly how hot that is on a little scale we've put together. Ghost pepper is about, well, let's see how much hotter it is than a regular bell pepper. Oh, about 1 million times hotter.
Yeah, good for Johnny.
That's the Scoville scale, which measures heat units. How about that? You learned something new here. How's Johnny doing over there? Well, he's still standing upright.
He's killing it, too.
Yeah, look at the eyes starting to water.
Don't get none on that polo, Johnny. We might have to wear him again on this trip.
I have one request, Johnny Kane. Do not sit next to me on the team plane tonight. All right. You're looking good there. Let us know how that is. Dixon Machado leading things off here in the 5th inning. 2-0 is our score.
We won't see Johnny until Cleveland. They're going on a road trip from here, partner.
There's a base hit to left field and a single for Machado to put the leadoff man on.
Johnny Kane and Jason Disick, they're headed to the Louisville factory where they make the bats. Louisville Slugger. They'll have a nice piece, I'm sure, on Friday. Tigers Live will run in the game.
What did you use when you were playing? Louisville Slugger?
I used Louisville Slugger, but I had a contract with Adirondack. So I used the Adirondacks for the most part.
No sack bunts in the career of Michael Fulmer, trying to bunt the runner up here.
Here's where there's a disadvantage for the pitchers, because the third baseman and also the first baseman, they know that the pitcher's going to bunt, and Michael Fulmer doesn't bunt all that often. So what they do is that they crash from their respective positions. You're going to see Suarez crash from third. You're going to see Votto crash from first. And what they're hoping is that Michael Fulmer bunts it right into the teeth of the defense. He'll come from here. He'll come from here, hoping that Michael Fulmer will bunt the ball right at one of them. They can get the force out at second base.
Bunted to Votto, and he's going to bobble it, so he has only one out. There's a sacrifice for Fulmer. Thought about going to second base, but could not field it cleanly.
And nice job here by Michael Fulmer getting the ball down. A lot of times when the pitchers practice bunting, they're not practicing bunting off of live arms, guys throwing 90 plus. And it's really a good job that he was able to get that ball on the ground, because Maley threw the ball up in the strike zone, trying to get Michael to pop it up.
That almost always results in a pop-up up there.
It does.
So for Fulmer, that's almost as good as a hit. He advances the runner now for Leonis Martin.
Martin has had a difficult time of laying off the fastballs up in the strike zone from Malley. He has swung and missed at quite a few of them.
Pop this one up. Right side of the infield. Jeanette from second base hauls it in. 2 gone. Johnny, how you doing out there?
Sweating.
Sweating a little bit. Listen, not dangerously hot, but it wakes you up. It'll wake up the taste buds a little bit, but pretty good stuff for $8. I don't know if I'd eat it on a day like today again.
Oh, you brought your wallet this time?
I did bring my wallet. You know what would really be good to rinse this thing down with?
Some milk.
That vodka lemonade stand that we saw in Chicago. But I don't see any of those. Plus, we're working. You were mentioning about the Louisville Slugger tour we're going to do. That'll be coming up tomorrow. That'll be actually, we're going to air the entire piece that we do, take you behind the scenes, if you will, of the Louisville Slugger factory. That's that special show will be coming up later in July. So we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, July 21st to be exact. So have fun down there in Louisville, Johnny. We look forward to seeing that the work that you provide from the factory, and showing us how bats are made and all that kind of good stuff. Interesting behind the scenes stuff, I think. Candelario is the hitter now with 2 outs.
And back in the day, it used to be only 2 bat makers, Adirondack and Louisville Slugger. And nowadays, you got 4 or 5 different bats companies that are providing the bats for the major league players. Man, Malley continues to throw that hard, I mean hard fastball in on Jamer.
Homer and a walk for Candelario in this game. 2-1.
And Jamer seeing the ball really well here today. He's gotten himself in a friendly fastball count. But one of the things that you know, if you're Jamer, if you are sitting on your fastball, and you should be, more than likely it's going to be up in the strike zone, so you can set your sights up at the top of the zone instead of at the bottom of the zone.
Here's the 2-1. Smothered again by Barnhart, and now 3-1 on Candelario. Castellanos on deck. Tigers a home run from Candy in the first, a home run from Goodrum in the fourth.
Malley is pitching to Candelario very cautiously, and almost like he doesn't really mind walking him again to pitch to Castellanos, which could be dangerous.
And he walked him again.
He wasn't really even close.
We'll put 2 men on. Malley has only 2 walks, both of them to Candelario.
Although Malley has thrown a lot of fastballs today, most pitchers, when they have a runner in scoring position, they simply go to their breaking ball, at least on the first pitch or one of the first pitches. And we know Nicholas is a very good breaking ball hitter.
Dan Darwin coming out now to have a chat with Malley. Darwin took over for Mac Jenkins, who was fired early this year. First month of the season, along with Brian Price.
And Brian Price was 3-15 before he was let go by the Cincinnati Reds, and therefore Jim Riggleman took over. There were many people that did not think Jim Riggleman would ever get another opportunity to manage. I don't know how many people know this, but a few years ago he was in the same situation in Washington. He was an interim manager, and he wanted to get a contract extension, and they would not give him the contract extension, and he basically quit the job.
Well, he's got another interim chance here. The Reds have Michael Lorenzen starting to warm up now in their bullpen.
And Barry Larkin's name has started to surface here in Cincinnati as a possible managerial candidate in the future.
Oh, good pickoff throw, and they nearly got Machado.
That's a great pickoff throw. That's a design play between the second baseman Jeanette and the pitcher Malley. Is a perfect throw.
It's about as well executed as you could possibly do it. Machado just got back. High fly ball center field, carrying out to the warning track, to the wall, and caught there by Hamilton. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th in the banks of the Ohio River.
has been sensational today. Most of his fastballs have been 95 and above, some at 97. And when not throwing that fastball where he's got lots of swings and misses, the slide piece has been dirty today for Michael. He's thrown some at 82. He's thrown some at 87. So he's mixing in the ranges and velocity with the slider and the fastball. And when you get Michael pitching the way that he's pitching so far today, you're going to get a lot of goose eggs on that scoreboard.
Jesse Winker leads it off as Fulmer has struck out 6 in the ballgame.
Michael is also 12 of 15 in first pitch strikes, so he is he's on one today.
Winker and then Peraza and Malley. These are the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Winker had a single. That was back in the second. Got the second on an error by the center fielder Martin, which has been the best scoring chance for the Reds in this game. Tigers powered by 2 homers, Candelario and Goodrum. Three 3-0 on Winker. Check count. The home plate umpire is that's Sam Holbrook, indicating 3-1 now. And that's ball 4. So the leadoff man is on here in the 5th. Well, Fox Sports Detroit's Western Michigan University Day is right around the corner. Join us Wednesday, June 27th. Tigers taking on the A's. Special ticket package includes a game ticket, WMU Tigers cap, and a donation back to the school. If you'd like to purchase or for more information, go to tigers.com/WMU. Broncos will be in the house. So Fulmer now will face Jose Peraza. Fly to center field in the second. Strike 1 on the outer edge.
Another first pitch strike there thrown by Michael. Now 13 of 17, which is exceptional. Peraza, standing in the batter's box, has already grounded into 8 double plays. Man, I'd love to see a ground ball here.
Chopped to third. Oh, what a play there by Candelario. He's going to have only 1 play, though. And look at the out at first.
Candy kind of panicked there. Nice play, but it looked like he may have still had time to get the force out at second base. 1 step at a dive. Took him a little time to gather himself, and he thought better of going to second and getting the sure out over at first base. And Michael Fulmer was able to get the ground ball, but not able to get the double play turned.
Here is the pitcher now, Tyler Malley. Struck out in his last at bat. Fulmer's been pretty good interleague in his career. A whip of under 1, an ERA a little over 2. And throwing a good one again here today against the Reds. 0-2 now on Malley.
And here's our Xfinity, a high-speed pitch on Michael Fulmer. Yeah, he has touched 99 here this afternoon on a warm, humid day. Several pitches at 98, 97. Just about every fastball above 95.
Malley's gone via the strikeout, 2 away. 7 strikeouts now for the right-hander Fulmer. And Michael now 2 shy of his season high of 9. Career high is 11 for Fulmer. We'll bring up Billy Hamilton. Flied out to right field in his only at bat.
Tigers outfielders are playing very shallow, and with Billy Hamilton in the batter's box, even though he has 3 homers. He does not have a lot of pop in his bat. Jacoby Jones in left is probably the shallowest of the three.
Oh, 2. They had Billy Hamilton timed earlier this year from first to third on a triple in 10.39 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which, according to StatCast, which has been around since the 2015 season, is the fastest home to third time.
He can fly. If you weren't with us last night, I told you when scouts are grading amateur players, they use a scale from 20 to 80. 20 obviously being the lowest and the slowest. 80 being the highest and the highest number you can get from any scout. Billy is an 80. That's how fast he is. The only player that is faster than him, according to StatCast, is Byron Buxton, the center fielder for the Minnesota Twins.
Fulmer stepped off as the shortstop Iglesias was skating in behind the runner. I think guys like Hamilton, who is struggling to bat 200, should bunt at least once a game.
Yeah, you brought it up last night. He's only bunted twice this year. They've tried everything with him, though. They've tried switch hitting. They've tried to get him to bunt. They've tried to get him to hit the ball on the ground. At some point in time, it's going to be up to Billy to get it done. Or as we said last night, he's going to find himself as a 4th or 5th outfielder, not a starter. He's always going to be good enough to play in the big leagues because of his defense and the way that he runs the bases. And these guys are valuable these days with a lot of athletes playing baseball again.
One and 2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
As a matter of fact, Mario, somebody told me today that they were heavily shopping him in the offseason, and they wanted to move him to a different squad in the offseason, change the scenery for Billy, but obviously they probably didn't get back what they thought that he was worth.
And there is, regardless of his offensive lack of prowess, some value to that defense he provides.
No doubt.
2-2 is strike 3 called. Billy thought it was high. Hamilton punches out. 8 strikeouts for Michael Fulmer. Nico Goodrum has already homered in this ball game today. He'll lead things off when we go to the 6th inning in Cincinnati.
Calling the game. The last time Nico Goodrum was up, he got a changeup with 2 strikes from Malley, and he flipped it out of the ballpark straight away center field. Exit velocity nearly 100. The launch angle was 30 degrees. And Nico Goodrum with his 7th homer this season in limited playing time.
Malley goes back to work. Ball 1 to Goodrum. Tigers 2 runs on 4 hits, and the Reds no runs on 2 hits. Michael Fulmer has been dominant again here today. Goodrum fouls it back out of play, 1-1.
Malley also has been pretty good today in the first pitches thrown category. He is 15 of 22. He's only fallen behind 7 batters here today.
Malley came into the season ranked the 4th best prospect in the Reds system. He was also ranked as having the best control in their minor league system. In fact, in the minor leagues, walks per 9 of under 2. Check swing roller foul. Reds, as we talked about last night, have had trouble in the pitching department. Their ERA 14th out of 15 National League teams. Now the 1-2. And Nico down swinging. 1 gone here in the 6th.
And got Nico with an off-speed pitch that time. And that time was a breaking ball. And we showed you that Nico hit that changeup out of the ballpark his last time up.
2 starters today have combined for 14 strikeouts. 8 for Fulmer and now 6 for Malley. McCann bunts, foul.
Good idea by James. And Suarez was playing really deep at third base, giving him that base hit. And Suarez said, go ahead, you can bunt if you want to.
I ain't moving.
You can have it.
Swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball there thrown by Malley. One of the better breaking balls he's thrown today. And he didn't throw it as hard as he has been throwing some of the previous breaking balls. He took a little off of it, and because of that, he had some really nice depth with that curveball.
Got him again, and down goes McCann. 7 strikeouts from Malley. 2 away. Well, Friday, July 6th, the Tigers take on the Rangers at 7:10. The first 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a patriotic picture courtesy of Miller Lite. Stay after the game for the post-game fireworks on Friday night. Tickets, go to tigers.com for more info. You got the picture, you got the fireworks. So I'm Marty Owen. 2 gone now for Jacoby Jones. They're in tight at the corners on Jacoby, who looks at ball 1. Jacoby offered up a bunt earlier in the game, therefore Suarez and Votto are pinching. Malley issues up high, and the count goes 2-0. And Jacoby looks at ball 3 high. Malley last year was the Reds minor league pitcher of the year, a 2.06 ERA in time split between AA and AAA, and has shown flashes up here at the major league level as well, including today with 7 punchouts. And that'll miss inside. It'll be a walk on 4 pitches to Jones. 3rd walk of the game now for Malley. It'll bring up Iglesias. Iggy with a single and a fly ball. Jacoby got back. Jones has 5 steals this year, has been caught 3 times.
And Ramon Santiago over at first base already has a pretty good idea of how quickly Malley will get the ball to home plate. He's been studying before the game today. And Malley was about 1-1 on his delivery to home plate on that first fastball there to Iglesias. And as Mario said, Jacoby's got good speed. 1-1 is pretty quick, though. Might be tough for Jacoby to steal a bag.
Runner bluffing, line drive to left field, base hit. Jones rounding the back, coming to third base. The throw comes into third, allowing Iglesias to take second.
That's a poor choice of throwing to the wrong base by Winker. And there was no way that he was going to throw Jacoby Jones out at third base. Therefore, he should have come up and thrown that ball to third. I mean, the second.
They single for Iglesias, taking second on the throw. So a 2-out threat here for the Tigers. And now Jim Riggleman coming out. We'll see if he's got the hook with him. Malley would be facing Dixon Machado, the number 8 hitter. And he'll stay in the game. Pitcher spot is due next. And Machado's going to probably get the intentional. Yeah, there he goes. He'll get the intentional walk here, which means they will force Fulmer to come to the plate. Wouldn't this be a grand spot for Michael Fulmer's first major league hit? He is 0 for 10 with a sacrifice as a big league hitter.
He might as well help himself out. He's on the mound. He's twirling a gem. Knock in a couple of more. And you give yourself a little bit more margin for error. Not that he really needs it today, the way that he's been throwing the baseball. He's been dominant through 5 frames against Reds bats.
Swing and a miss. Cheese up top. 100th pitch of the afternoon coming up for Malley. Late swing rolled foul. Right through the wickets of Ramon Santiago.
And if you're wondering at home about the intentional walk there to Machado, indeed, that is the first of his career. Only 1 bad inning really by Malley, and it really wasn't that bad. I'm just talking about pitch count, up over 20.
Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Fulmer is out on strikes to end the threat. 8 strikeouts for Tyler Malley.
He's the truth. There's no doubt about that. He's the absolute truth.
Well, the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. This is what it looks like on Friday as Mike Fiers is scheduled to go against Shane Bieber.
They got a Bieber going on Friday.
It's not Justin.
No. 3.97 ERA for Bieber. And Mike Fiers has been good pretty much all season for the Tigers.
By the way, the Tigers are not going to see, excuse me, Rod, they're not going to see Corey Kluber in that series.
Oh, shucks.
I know that disappoints you.
No Carrasco either.
No Carrasco, he's on the DL, but we do have Bauer and Clevenger.
Yeah, and they're good too. Clevenger punched out 10 yesterday, and Bauer punched out over 10 in his outing too. So it's not going to be easy anytime you go up against that kind of pitching in Cleveland. And they get a chance to duck Michael Fulmer too.
Oh, they do. Good point. Schebler, Barnhart, and Votto top three for Cincy here in the sixth.
And Michael Fulmer has been on top of his game today. Literally on top of his game.
8 strikeouts. He's given up only 2 hits. Schebler is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
You know, Al Avila, his phone's going to be ringing again after this Michael Fulmer start. You know it. It's just part of the territory. I mean, you might as well get it out there. His phone might be ringing right now.
Every time you walk by Al, man, it's either the text tone is going off or the ringtone's going off.
Yeah, he went to Erie yesterday to watch those 2 kids pitch, Burrows and Faedo. So I'm looking forward to seeing him once we get back to Cleveland. To see what he thought of Faedo making his debut last night in Double-A.
Yeah, Faedo looked pretty good apparently based on the numbers and the reports. Same with Burrows. Daz Cameron was pumped up as well to Double-A. There's a drive in the air towards center field. Martinez on the run, not going to get there. It's going to go up against the wall. Schebler will cruise into second, and a leadoff double for the Reds.
Schebler almost missed first base when he got there. I mean, he was looking at the ball, and once he got to first base, man, it looked like he might have almost missed that base. And Martin couldn't get there. Jacoby couldn't get there either. Split both of them for a stand-up double. Oh, he got it.
Well, now it's going to take some work here by Fulmer. He's got Barnhart, then Votto and Jeanette, middle of the lineup lurking. Only the 3rd hit of the game for the Reds. Fly ball in the air toward left. Jones on the run, still going to the warning track. Runner will tag and move up. Barnhart retired on a deep fly ball to advance Schebler to 3rd.
And Joey Votto in last night's game hit a pop-up to right field, and he was given a grand slam on it. It trickled right off the glove of Nicholas Castellano. 40-degree launch angle on this pop-up. Probably the only ballpark in America that it goes out of. Check that. Yankee Stadium, too.
Yeah. Runner at 3rd now with 1 out. Votto strikeout, fly out. Ball 1.
And Votto does his best work in these type situations. Runners in the scoring position, his batting average, well, there you have it. 370.
Strike called, and 1-1 now on Votto.
Here's where Michael Fulmer goes for the strikeout. And runner on 3rd base, less than 2 outs. He knows he has the arsenal to get a strikeout, even against a really good hitter like Joey Votto.
Did he go? Yes. So says Sam Holbrook behind the plate, 1-2.
And he is just trying to overpower Votto. Well, against Michael Fulmer, man, you better get that front foot down in a hurry. You saw that front foot of Votto's. It was still in the air, and that ball was halfway to home plate. You got no way of catching up to that Fulmer fastball in the upper 90s. Michael wants the strikeout.
Got it. Votto goes down swinging, trying to check it. 2 gone.
Look out, Michael.
9 strikeouts now for Fulmer.
He threw him fastballs early in the count. I mean, good fastballs, upper 90s fastballs. 97, 97, 98, and then he comes back with that at 88. I mean, this doesn't get much better than that, people.
Two gone now for Scooter Gennett. Line foul. Gennett with the fly out and a strikeout. Among the best players in the National League in a lot of different categories. Gennett came in leading the National League in batting average. Ooh, he tied him up there, and
oh, that slide piece.
It's down to a knee.
Stop it, Michael.
0-2.
Just quit it. Scooter about screwed himself into the ground. He's looking out at Michael. What in the world was that? Don't make a mistake. 0-2, you cannot make a mistake here.
Slap foul out of play. Fulmer has surrendered 3 hits. That is hit a single to Winker in the 2nd. A leadoff single to Barnhart in the 4th, and the leadoff double to Schebler here in the 6th.
Another 99-mile-per-hour fastball they're throwing on that last pitch to Scooter. He might touch 100 today.
Gotta be loose enough.
He's a bulldog.
Again, the 0-2. Suarez waiting on deck. Ooh, Gennett able to spoil that one barely.
An excuse me swing by Scooter. And that kind of what makes Scooter a really good hitter. When you could spoil this 98-mile-per-hour fastball, because it's a pitcher's pitch. I mean, it really is. You're not going to hit it very hard. You're hoping you can get something that you can handle. Fastball inside. Swing back fastball.
High fly ball to deep right field. Castellanos to the track, to the wall, and gone.
And he threw it to the one place that you don't want to throw it. Down and in.
A 2-run shot for Scooter Gennett with 2 outs in the 6th, and we are tied.
It was a fastball that they wanted in, and for one of the few times today, that fastball did not stay inside against Scooter. It snuck back over the middle of the plate, down, and he was able to hit it. Actually, it was a changeup inside. Not a fastball. He went changeup in.
Does that surprise you?
You know what,
with
Mario?
that heater?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a fastball.
Oh, that ball fell to the left field down the line. It is up, and it is off the top of the wall.
Suarez thinks he has a home run.
It's ruled in play by Blackney, but I'm sure they'll look at it. Right now, it's a double for Suarez.
Back to the pitch execution of Gennett there. I don't really have a problem with the pitch, but the location maybe down and away from him maybe would have been a better location. But you know what? Yeah, Michael's got to live with it. He knows it.
Jim Riggleman coming out and asked them to take a look at it. Let's take a look at ourselves. Yeah, that's a home run, I think. Like it went over the top of the wall there.
Well, usually you don't see balls bounce back that violently against the cushion.
Yeah,
I mean, that ball bounced about 30 feet back into left field. And they usually don't come back that far when they hit that top of the little yellow padding.
Well, if this is a home run, how about this for a turn of events? Fulmer was in command. A 2-out, 2-run shot by Jeanette. Now we're waiting on the ruling here for Suarez.
And he was able to strike out Votto, a very tough hitter with the runner on third, less than 2 outs. But the 2-2 changeup that was down and in to Scooter Jeanette just allowed him to golf it out of here.
It appeared that ball was over the wall, but still no indication from the umpires. And now here's the ruling. It is a home run. Back-to-back home runs for the Reds, and they lead.
Now here's the location of the 2 home runs. That's a changeup down and in. Now that's a nitro zone for a lot of left-handed batters. And then he throws another breaking ball here at 89 miles an hour to Suarez, and Suarez is able to hit it out of the ballpark. He had struck out Suarez his first 2 times up on fastballs.
Strike 1 to Jesse Winker.
That happened quickly, didn't it?
Sure did. The 2-run shot by Jeanette tied it up, but on the very next pitch, Suarez hits one over the wall. You had mentioned that after he struck out Votto, how dominant Fulmer was, and I was about to say, I didn't say it, but I'm just so nervous in this ballpark the way the ball has been carrying today.
Yeah, and also with Jeanette standing in the batter's box. I mean, that's a concern. He's an outstanding hitter.
Action for the Tigers. Wilson.
Well, Tigers have a bunch more outs in this game, 9 to be exact, and anything could happen, especially the way they came back yesterday in the 9th.
Strike called. Winker on base twice, single and a walk. 3-2. Reds have their first lead of the afternoon. Fulmer walks out behind the pitching mound, trying to regroup. Pitch count now at 89. .64 strikes of the 90 pitches that he's thrown. Way inside, and the count fills now 3-2. Homers numbers 10 and 11 allowed by Fulmer. The only other Tiger in double figures in home runs allowed is Mike Fiers, who leads the team with 14. Here's the 3-2. We have had 4 home runs in this game, 2 by the Tigers and now 2 for the Reds. Walked him. Second walk of the day for Winker.
You gonna go get it?
Here comes Gardy.
Wow.
He's made the call. Wilson will be summoned from the bullpen. So the Tigers will make a pitching change here in the 6th. We'll be back. By Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Back here in Cincinnati, we're just like that. It has changed in the blink of an eye. 3-2 is our score. Michael Fulmer just cruising along in this game. Third time through, though, the Reds found a way to get it done. You know, it's hard to explain, Mario. I mean, he could be that dominant through the first 6 frames of this contest here today and then go out for this inning and then allow them to have their way, so to speak, against them. I don't know how to figure it out, and I'm sure Michael is wondering how to figure it out. I mean, he was cruising. He had a total of 9 strikeouts, had 2 outs in the inning, but then back-to-back home runs. And we're being told that third time through the batting order. Obviously, for Michael, we know the story with him. I mean, his numbers do elevate. First time through, he's real good. Second time through, he's good as well. But the third time through the order this year for Michael has been troublesome. And that was the third time through. The flip side of that is Scooter Gennett, the third time through against a starting pitcher, is batting nearly 400. Well, here are the numbers on Fulmer. 319 third time through. So Wilson will come in his stead here in the 6th, facing Peraza with a man on, 2 men out. Chop foul to the right of home plate. Wallside windows pitching change. Here are the numbers on Wilson. Alex pitching in his 23rd game this year. Has 7 holds. The earned run average sits at 365, and the opponent's batting average is just 227 against Alex. Off the end of bat again, it'll go foul. Peraza with a ground out, then a fly out in this ball game. Wilson missed some time this year with the plantar fascia in his foot. Good to see him back in the bullpen. And Michael Fulmer has had outings in his career where he's given up 2 homers in a game, but never has he given up back-to-back home runs as he did today here in the 6th. 3-2 full count. Duvall has moved to the on-deck circle with the pitcher spot next. And when you think of Michael's outing here today, Mario, it's really one pitch. I mean, it comes down to the Scooter Gennett pitch, not so much the Suarez home run, but the Scooter Gennett pitch. I mean, really just one pitch. Right. Kind of changed the entire afternoon, but that's baseball. Runner going at 3-2, ball 4. That'll put 2 men on. And now Duvall will hit for the pitcher. You know, the pitch prior to the home run by Jeanette, he had trouble just putting the bat on the ball.
Yeah, it was 98. It was a check swing.
That's the rough part of being a starting pitcher now. I'm sure Fulmer will sit there and just replay this whole inning in his head, pitch by pitch.
But the one thing that he should do, if I'm, you know, Chris Bosio, if I'm in Ron Gardenhire, I'm not dwelling so much on the 6, but I'm really thinking about all the positive things that Michael did in the first 5 frames, because he was as good as we've seen him this year, really, for me, anyway.
Agreed. Overpowering at times.
And the slider. I mean, it had some nice depth to it. It had good tilt. He was throwing it at a good velocity.
Fulmer's 9 strikeouts today, tying a season high. Duvall batting now with 2 on and 2 outs, trying to extend the Reds' lead. Wilson throws the strike 1-1. .196 this year for Duvall, who started the game last night, had a pair of doubles and a single. And he also walked. He was on base 4 times. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Critical here for Wilson to strand these 2 runners. Two and 2. Hamilton waiting on deck. Tiger bullpen in that 5-game winning streak was so good. They had their struggles last night after the starter Boyd left following 4 innings. Soppold came on. Verhagen left with a broken nose. He was put on the DL today. And there's another one that goes low and away now. 3-2, which will allow the Reds to start the runners here. Here's the 3-2. Grounder right back to the mound and snatched there by Wilson to retire the side. 3 runs in, though. Couple of home runs ending Fulmer's day.
got on the board very early in this contest against their starter. That was Jeimer Candelario with a solo home run the opposite way. Nico Goodrum also chipped in with a solo shot. That's pretty much all the scoring for the Tigers so far here today. I initially thought that Jeanette hit a changeup out of the ballpark, but it was a slider that he went down to get. It was a breaking ball, not a changeup. Down and in, and Scooter was able to golf it out of the ballpark. The next pitch was a slider as well, and that went out of the ballpark for Suarez. Yeah, so there's the answer to our question. I mean, we thought it was a changeup down and in, but it was a slider, and that's where he wanted the slider. Yep. You just got to give Jeanette some credit.
Amir Garrett now has come on for the Reds here in a Walsat Windows pitching change.
And 44 strikeouts for Garrett in just 32 games. He has 11 holds. He's walked 12. The opponent's batting average is under 200. And so he has a big arm.
Garrett allowed 2 runs in his last outing in an inning of work, and that was against Pittsburgh. He'll fire a strike to Leonis Martin. Martin is 0 for 3.
And Tigers have plenty of time left in this game.
Martin rolls it foul in the count 0-2. Candelario Castellanos to follow. Duvall will stay in the game. He'll play in left. Winker is out of the game, and the pitcher spot now is in the 6th hole for Cincinnati. The 0-2 is slapped out of play.
And Garrett has a good arm. His fastball average velocity 94. He gets up to 96. He also throws a lot of sliders. Pretty much fastball slider thrown by Garrett with an occasional changeup. Didn't they have a left-hander in their bullpen last night throwing 96, 97 too? Was it Peralta?
Peralta came out of the pen. He just couldn't throw a strike.
It's not often you see 2 left-handers in any one pen. Both guys have a mid-90s fastballs. That's rare.
One and two. Amir Garrett played college basketball at St. John's University. And then on to Cal State Northridge, where he played for Reggie Theus.
Reggie Theus. Reggie could shoot, boy, back in the day. He could shoot.
I wonder what kind of player Mr. Garrett was. Playing on an NIT team at St. John's. 1 and 2 on Martin. Got to get it started here in the 7th inning. Tigers down by a run.
Used to be some real good basketball played in the Big East back in the day with Georgetown and St. John's and Syracuse. And there was some beasts playing back then. Patrick Ewing.
John Thompson coaching.
Yeah.
Luke Hunter second.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Mullen to St. John.
Good basketball back then.
Little chopper to the first baseman, Votto. And the pitcher covering, and they just get the out at first base. Man, Martin almost beat that out.
Well, the reason why Martin slid is the fact that he got there about the same time as the pitcher, and that's one way to prevent yourself from having a collision. Garrett, a big boy anyway.
One away, that'll bring up Candelario. And Jeimer will bat righty against the lefty. Garrett trying to gather himself that they're sprinting to first base. He is 6'5", 228, born in Victorville, California, lives in Las Vegas. Fouled off 0-1. Often wondered about folks that live in Vegas.
Right.
You know, we go to Vegas and it can get ugly as far as gambling.
That's right.
Spending a lot of money, but I guess those that live there tell you that, yeah, that gets a little old after a while.
Man, Vegas is coming up, though, man. They got a hockey team. I mean, football team. The Raiders going to be there, too. They've been talking about a baseball team going to Vegas at some point in time.
And Peraza throws out Candelario, 2 gone. Hey, the 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Tigers are represented on this year's squad by voting at tigers.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. So Garrett has done his job. Michael Lorenzen will come out of the bullpen now to face Nicholas Castellanos, and we'll be back. Your expectations of what a bank could be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Hot, steamy day here in Cincy. The Reds lead 3-2 on a couple of home runs, back-to-back homers by Jeanette and Suarez off Michael Fulmer. And now we've got a Wallside Windows pitching change. Michael Lorenzen coming on now for the Reds.
Lorenzen, starter by trade, has a really good arm. Lorenzen has a mid-90s fastball as well. That's his average fastball, so he gets above that. He's got a good slider. He cuts the fastball, and he also will throw you a curveball occasionally, but mostly fastballs and hard stuff coming out of the hand of Lorenzen.
Big performer last year out of their bullpen. He won 8 games in relief, appeared in 70 contests. Fly ball right field. This will stay in the ballpark. Shepler is under it, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
One run, dare I say, it's hotter than a ghost pepper here at Great American Ballpark. We're on the riverboat deck here in straightaway center field, but I want to let all you Pistons fans who may be watching that the Pistons will be introducing new head coach Dwayne Casey at a press conference, well, in a little more than an hour from now. You can catch it streaming live on Fox Sports Go, also at foxsportsdetroit.com. Of course, Dwayne Casey spent the past 7 seasons as head coach of the Toronto Raptors, led them to the #1 seed in the East this past season. But they ran into LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round, and that was that. So Toronto's loss is Detroit's gain. But Dwayne Casey, the reigning NBA Coach of the Year, I think Pistons fans are really going to like him. He's a snazzy dresser to boot there, Rod Allen.
Oh, is he?
Appreciate that.
He'll try to keep up with you then, Johnny.
No, he'll be, listen, you and I are going to have to keep up with Mr. Casey, I promise you.
Johnny, how toasty is it out there in center field?
It's toasty, brother.
Yeah, I'm sure
I mean,
it is.
it's whatever the feel-like temperature is. I think it's north of 90 degrees.
Nice.
Must be tough to be a coach in the NBA. You lead the Toronto Raptors to an outstanding record, and then all of a sudden you run into LeBron and you lose and you get fired.
Yep.
Yeah, 59 wins. That's a franchise record.
Man, oh man.
Johnny, by the way, it only feels like 94. That's the official words.
I see. Thanks for that, guys.
Good work.
How's it in the booth?
It's
okay?
nice and cool. Got a little fan going on here, a little air conditioning.
It's comfortable.
You would. You would.
Well, a leadoff single by Hamilton. That'll pose a problem now. And here comes Ron Gardenhire. Wilson came on in the 6th inning, gave up a walk, but got a grounder, and now a leadoff single to the speedy Billy Hamilton. And Gardy takes the baseball. Pitching change here in Cincinnati. 3-2 Reds. We'll be back. When the team heads to Cleveland, they'll be taking on the Indians. Our game coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Friday night, Tigers and Tribe at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Well, he had been doing so well in the rotation, but right now Blaine Hardy coming out of the bullpen to try and get some outs here.
Well, Blaine will be back in the rotation. Ron Gardenhire just did not say when he would get the ball again as a starter, but until then they're going to pitch him out of the bullpen once, maybe twice, until they decide what that next day will be for Blaine Hardy to get a start.
You know what kind of pitching change this is?
It's a wall sign.
It is.
And he also has the responsibility of making sure that Billy Hamilton does not steal second base here. He has to keep Billy close, and Blaine Hardy should have an opportunity of doing that, although Billy will run no matter what.
Schebler looks at a strike, 0-1.
He gave him the high leg kick that time, and he was 1-3-1 to home plate. So Billy, if you're thinking that he's going to be 1-3 again, then you're mistaken. He will not be 1-3 again. He's trying to bait him.
He'll draw a throw. Hamilton and a leadoff single, which means Hardy comes in. The Tigers have been going without a left-hander in the bullpen for a while now. Liriano due to come back in that series in Cleveland. Blaine will continue to make starts. There's a chop to the right side, going to get through, base hit. Hamilton will go to third. A high chopper that finds a seam, and now the Reds have runners at first and third. That'll be the second hit of the game for Schebler. Now Barnhart will check in. He has a single hit by pitch as well. Two on, nobody out. A little high and away, 1-0. You don't really often see catchers batting second in lineups, but Barnhart has done it now 19 times this year.
Must be able to handle the bat.
Well, he was on base 5 times last night.
His on base percentage is over 3.5 on the season.
Infield coming in. In there, a strike called, 1-1.
I think that's something else that's kind of changed as well, Mario, with the advanced analytics. I mean, you can kind of throw out the window where guys bat in the batting order. I mean, you have, guys that are hitting 40 home runs at times leading off in the big league.
For sure.
What I mean? This really changed the way lineups are.
Drill to center field, base hit. That'll get a run in. Hamilton scores, RBI single for Barnhart, and now a 2-run lead for the Reds. And more trouble waiting with Joey Votto coming up. How about Votto among Canadian-born players and where he ranks?
Well, he's had a marvelous career. I mean, second in batting average, second in hits, second in doubles, third in home runs. The one guy that's on the top of that list, at least ahead of Votto in a lot of those categories, it would be Larry Walker, who also was from Canada, and he played for the Colorado Rockies and man, did he have a great career.
Ball 1 to Votto. Larry Walker could literally do it all.
He was dynamite, man. He was one of the best baseball players that I'd ever watched in person, and he did it for about a decade in Colorado, but he never really got the due that he deserved because of the high altitude, and that's all everyone wanted to talk about is how the ball did travel, and the ball did travel, but Larry also played a lot of games on the road too. He was a dynamite player, could do it all.
Meanwhile, Votto has gone 2-0 here against Hardy. 2 on and nobody out. A run in for the Reds. Way inside. Now the count has gone 3-0.
And Votto not necessarily swinging the bat all that well this season against left-handed pitching. But when you fall behind a guy 3-0 and 3-1, even guys that are struggling become much better.
Green lighting on 3-0, and he fouled it back out of play.
Now that's not what your manager wants to see when you get the green light 3-0.
Lewis Coleman is warming up. Scooter Gennett is next, and then you've got Suarez. That's up top. Votto will take his walk. That'll load the bases.
Here's since we were having the conversation on Votto, here's Larry Walker. 17 major league seasons, 313 career average, nearly Larry 400 Walker. Home runs, and a lot of RBIs. Won a batting title. He did it all.
Well, Hardy is in a mess now. They're loaded up, nobody out, and a run in. And you've got the cleanup man, Scooter Gennett, coming up. And Jeanette hit a 2-run shot, which signaled the beginning of the end for Michael Fulmer. That tied the game in the 6th. Infield in for the Tigers. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Four to 2, Reds have the lead here in the 7th. Drill to right field on a line. Castellanos will come in to make the catch, and they will hold the runner at third. Hard hit ball, one gone. Nick quickly got it back in. Here comes Gardy again with Suarez coming up. And they're going to want Coleman now to try and get out of this inning. So Hardy will face a total of 4 batters, gives up 2 singles, a walk in, records an out, and we'll be back.
Suarez, who the last time he stepped up, it was the bottom half of the 6th inning after a home run by Scooter Gennett, the second baseman. And Suarez also homered to left field. Here's that homer, solo shot.
15th of the year for Suarez, a biggie to give them a 3-2 lead. Initially called a double, and then they realized it cleared the wall. Now Lewis Coleman coming in to try and put out the fire here in the 7th.
And Lewis has been good for the Tigers in whichever role they've used him in. Now pitching in his 17th game as .237 ERA. 23 strikeouts for Lewis, not necessarily known as a strikeout pitcher.
Infield in halfway now with the bases jammed. And Suarez looks at a strike.
And we did a side-by-side of Suarez's swing back in 2014 in the Tigers uniform and up to date now in the Cincinnati Reds uniform. And really he has changed very little, with the difference being he's added a leg kick. Kind of takes that left leg and he kind of curls it behind him, and he kind of turns his back ever so slightly to the pitcher, which kind of keeps him in line to the pitcher, make sure that front shoulder doesn't fly out violently.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 now on Eugenio Suarez. Pitcher spot is due next, and right now Lorenzen is in the on deck circle, but they've got a chance to break this open here. Tigers desperately need a ground ball here. Swing and a miss now, 2-2.
And good slider there thrown by Coleman. Great location.
Suarez a 10-game hitting streak. Low and in. 3-2. Coleman's got to throw a strike down. High fly ball, shallow left field, runner tagging, and it's going to be caught from behind by Iglesias. What a great play by Iggy. His back to the infield. What an outstanding catch by Iglesias.
I was watching Iglesias all the way, and I was also watching Jacoby Jones because the ball stayed in the air a long time. But it did not appear that Jacoby was going to get there, so it was Iglesias that had to make the over-the-shoulder grab.
Tremendous play. And now Blandino will hit for the pitcher spot. They're still loaded now with 2 outs. Strike 1 on Blandino. So they got 2 dangerous hitters, Jeanette to fly to right, and Suarez pops up to the shortstop. Strike call, now 0-2 on Blandino. .230 batting average.
He's had a lot of at-bats this year as a pinch hitter. And 14 at-bats for Blandino, 5 of 14.
Ooh, just missed in the count, 1-2. Tigers down 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. High ball 2. Blandino is hitless in his last 17 at bats. Coleman now 1 strike away from leaving the bases loaded here. Here's the 2-2. High ball 3. Well, again, for the 2nd straight batter, Coleman needs to throw a strike. Lewis been a nice surprise out of the bullpen for the Tigers since his call-up. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to leave the bases loaded. They'll settle for 1 run. Could have been a lot worse if it weren't for this catch by Jose Iglesias. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. be linked because of that guy right there, George Sparky Anderson, who is the Reds manager and won 863 games for them before becoming the Tigers manager and, of course, leading the Tigers to the World Series.
One of a handful of managers to win a World Series in both leagues and retired numbers in both stadiums.
How about that big red machine? They were pretty good back in the day.
My favorite team growing up was the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, growing up in Los Angeles. But when I had a chance to come to Cincinnati, this was in 1977 after we had won the American League Championship in 1976. The winning team gets to go to the team that won the World Series. They get to go to that ballpark the next year. And had a chance to go to Cincinnati. And that's when they were playing in the, what they call that place?
Riverfront Stadium?
Riverfront Stadium.
Yeah.
And I met Sparky Anderson on the field. I mean, they honored us. We had a chance to watch batting practice. So that was quite a thrill for a 16-year-old to come to Cincinnati and meet the Cincinnati Reds baseball players.
Tigers batting here in the 8th. They are down by 2 runs now, 4-2. Nico Goodrum is facing a new pitcher. Jared Hughes has come on now for the Reds.
He's pitched a lot this year, and he's pitched well. Yeah, 33rd game for Jared.
1-2.
So just to finish that story, I grew up a Dodgers fan, but later on became a Cincinnati Reds fan. And when that big red machine was rolling with Sparky and Joe Morgan and Concepcion and Rose and Bench, I mean, you can go on and on. I mean, they had a talented team. You couldn't have a team like that these days, Mario, with free agency the way that it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Those guys played together a long time.
2-2 on Goodrum, McCann and Jones to follow. So you grew up in L.A., but you like the Pirates and the Reds.
I grew up in L.A., loved the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dodgers were a team too, but I just loved the Pittsburgh Pirates when they came to town.
Bouncing ball right side for Jeanette, who backs up to the grass, throws wide and almost threw it away.
He sure did almost throw that ball away.
1 gone. Jeanette says thank you to Votto for bailing him out.
It's a dangerous play for the first baseman too. Anytime you got to reach back into that baseline when that runner's running down the line full speed.
Mack is 0 for 3 in the game.
And Tigers have the 2 solo home runs in the contest, but by and large, other than that, the offense has been quiet.
Home run by Candelario, 2 batters into this game, and then a home run by Goodrum to lead off the 4th. Total of 5 hits, but they trail 4-2. Michael Fulmer was in command of this game, but the Reds got to him with a pair of home runs in the 6th. 0-2 now on McCann. Johnny Barbado was called up from Toledo today with Drew Verhagen going on the disabled list with a broken nose. And Barbado warming up. Now the 0-2. Garrett came on, and then Lorenzen, and now Hughes here in the 8th. So they've used 3 relievers in place of their starter, Malley, who is really good as well today. Swing and a miss, and McCann is out of there.
Well, if you missed it, this is why Barbado is here. Last night, Verhagen going over to cover first base on a ground ball. And once he got to the bag, he took his eye off the ball ever so slightly, trying to find the bag right there. You can see him start to look down to find the baseball. And he also talked about that ball got caught in the lights. So the combination of looking down to find the bag and losing the baseball, it caused Drew a broken nose.
So Barbado comes up. He has been up with the Tigers earlier this year. Little high chop, and it's going to fall into the glove, and now out of the glove of Suarez. The third baseman and the pitcher almost combined to collide.
Yeah, I heard someone saying, I got it, I got it. I couldn't really tell whether it was Hughes or whether it was and Suarez, but miscommunication. Don't know if they get Jacoby anyway.
Infield hit for Jones. That'll bring up Iglesias. Ruled a base hit. Tigers had their 6th hit of the game. That'll back them out of there 1-0. Hughes broke in with the Pirates in the National League. Milwaukee 1 year and now with the Reds. Runner goes. And a strike call, no throw. Steele standing up for Jones.
Yeah, Hughes is very slow getting the ball to home plate. Iglesias did a very nice job of recognizing the jump that Jacoby Jones had and simply stepped out of the batter's box and was not going to swing.
6 stolen bases now for Jones in scoring position here. Iggy fouls it off, 1-2. Hughes went to Long Beach State out of Santa Margarita, California. Veteran trying to record the final out here in the 8th. Tigers trail 4-2.
Yeah, Long Beach State, they're nicknamed the Dirtbags, aren't they?
They are. Also went on to Santa Clara. Now the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers still have Victor Martinez on the bench, unable to play with no DH in National League games.
And Victor's going to be chomping at the bit on Friday to get back in there.
It'll chop back toward the mound, and it's going to be caught by the catcher. Quick throw, safe, and coming around to score is Jones.
Jacoby Jones has outstanding base running instincts. Never stopped.
Tigers with a couple of high chops on the infield steal a run.
I guess you could say that's what speed do.
Again.
Hit chopper here, and Barnhart comes in, fires the first, and then by the time it's picked up by Votto, it's too late. Jacoby Jones is running all the way, and this is what guys do most of the time anyway. They just keep running. They don't stop, just in case that guy at first base is safe. And he didn't take it for granted, Jacoby Jones.
So the Tigers back to within 1 now. It's a 4-3 ball game, and Victor coming off the bench.
How about that for an RBI?
He'll take it.
Does he get an RBI for that?
I would imagine. Infield single scored the run. And for Iglesias, 28th RBI, and now here comes Victor, 1 swing of the bat away from giving the Tigers the lead. Femar drives one in the air toward left field, and that is going to be caught out there by Duvall to end the inning. Tigers get 1 back as we go to the bottom of the 8th, trying to stay cool on a steamy day here in Cincinnati. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Cincinnati. Time for the Ram Pick the Stick update. I'm not sure I want to see this. Ooh, Ryder with a big date today.
Yep, I'll take it. I'll take the 8.
Johnny Cain's got 4.
Yeah.
So does Gibby. I'm checking in with a -3 as my lead continues to just melt away, like Johnny Cain's melt away in the sunshine today. Johnny, you got to feel pretty good about a 4-point day.
Yeah, I'll take the 4 points. I'll take the 4 points. You know what? Those 4 points feels like 8 points, much like the temperature out here. Feels like 1,000.
Can't believe they're still making you stand out there. Good work.
Yeah, you got it. Let's try to get a rally going here.
All right, let's see Barbado shut him down first. The pitch is up top. Johnny Barbado is in now for the Tigers. Jose Peraza, the first man he faces. Soft ground ball left sider. That's a line drive, and it's caught. He broke his bat on a little dive there. Didn't touch the dirt, and Mr. Iglesias with a nice play.
Another nice play by Jose. Jose's been awfully consistent at the shortstop position this season. He's got great range.
Here is Duvall now with the bases empty. Ball 1.
And Johnny pitching some really good baseball down in Toledo in 19 games for the Mud Hens. A 1.59 earned run average. He's only given up 4 earned runs in 22 2/3 innings. And down in AAA.
Nico Goodrum will move to second, and Hicks comes in the game to play first. The defense changes for the Tigers, who are hoping to be down by just a run when we get to the 9th. Duvall is 0 for 1 in this game. Came on as a pinch hitter and remained in the contest. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Duvall. Reds bullpen now their closer, Raisel Iglesias, warming up. And right now it's a 1-run lead for him to protect.
Iglesias' name always comes up in potential trade talks. A lot of people would love to have him in their bullpen. Some teams that are in the hunt.
Fouled away.
It's that time of year, though.
Yeah, it sure is.
It looks like teams are starting to move earlier and earlier. I mean, we're already in June. There's been a couple of big trades.
Hicks, Martin, Candelario, the 3 batters that Iglesias is scheduled to face. Kelvin Herrera made his Nationals debut after that trade with KC.
Looks very good. Only needed 6 pitches to retire the opposition in that 8th inning that he pitched.
Fly ball belted to right field, backing up Castellanos to the wall, looks up and gone. An opposite field home run for Duvall, and the Reds are back up 2.
Yeah, Duvall didn't even start in the contest, but his first at bat of the afternoon, a big home run. He's got big power anyway.
That is a big homer there, surrendered by Barbado. It's now a 2-run lead, 5-3. It's the 3rd home run hit by the Reds in this game.
Man, that was a fastball at 95, and Duvall pulled his hands close to the body and got that barrel of the bat over the heart of the plate, got underneath it, and hit it out.
Hamilton rolls one foul. Hamilton started that big rally in the 7th with a single. In the air to right field, Castellanos on the run for this one, still going, not going to get it. And the Tigers get a break, and then it jumps into the seats for a ground rule double.
For a guy that was hitting only 190 when we showed up yesterday, he sure looks like a 300 hitter. At least he has the last couple of days. 3 hits yesterday, including a homer.
Well, he's 4 for 8 in the series.
And that ball out in right center field. And as soon as it hits that warning track, it jumps over the gate. Nice play there by that young man. It's a really nice play.
High five worthy. Hamilton putting on his running gloves now. Shebler stands in. Swing and a miss. Single, double, and a run scored in the game for Scott Shebler. Reds now have 5 runs on 10 hits. They lead by 2. Drill to right field. Castellanos coming on to make the catch.
You said this earlier today, but these Reds have really hit some balls right on the button today. Right at people.
Yeah, for as dominant as Michael Fulmer was in this game, there were a few guys that were squaring him up pretty good.
Yep.
It's a Reds team that came in 20 under 500, a chance to sweep this series. Here is Tucker Barnhart. Ball 1. RBI single for Barnhart in the 7th. 2 more hits today. He's been on base a million times in this series. Here's the 1-0. Outside 2-0. On base 5 times last night, 3 more times today. It's been a good series for the Reds catcher, who catches the day game after the night game, and a early start as well. He's up at the count, 2-0. Fly ball in the air to shallow center. Martin coming in under it, and that'll retire the side, but a run in on the Duvall homer, which means we go to the 9th in a 2-run game. All right, guys, thank you. As we go to the ninth, Tigers' Michael Fulmer went 5 2/3 in this game. And Tyler Malley pitched pretty good as well for the Reds. And Raisel Iglesias, the closer, is on now for Cincy.
And Iglesias has a really good arm. His average fastball 95. He gets up to 97. He throws his slider about 22% of the time. First 2 pitches to Hicks were both breaking balls, and he also likes his changeup. So 3 pitches for Mr. Iglesias.
Here's the 1-1, and Hicks sends it foul back to the screen, 1-2.
And you can see why the Reds are entertaining phone calls on Mr. Iglesias, just to see if someone wants to overpay for him.
10 of 12 in save opportunities, 35 punch outs against 10 walks. He darts one outside and low.
And Cincinnati Reds have a lot of hard throwers in their bullpen. Just about every guy that has trotted out of their bullpen has had a mid-90s fastball.
Swing and a miss, and Hicks down on strikes, 1 gone. It'll bring up Iglesias, or bring up Martin rather, against Iglesias.
It's a pretty good slider there. Looked like he took a little off of that one. That velocity at 86. Spun it up there nicely.
Leones is 0 for 4. Tigers need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Iglesias was signed to a 7-year deal. He is signed through 2020. 28 years old now. Here's the 0-1. Hard hit ground ball, knocked down. Will they get to the plate first in time? They will. Nice play by Raisel Iglesias. That ball was off the glove of Votto, and they still turned it.
It really was a nice play by Iglesias. You've got one job to do as a pitcher on a ground ball to the right side of the infield, and that's get to the bag. But we see pitchers hesitate all the time. Iglesias doesn't hesitate. The ball hits sharply. He gets over there. And once it's picked up by Scooter Gennett, he's stretching out for it like a first baseman. So it also helps to get there in a timely manner to make sure that you can find that bag, that you're not looking for it when you get there.
2 gone now. Here is Candelario. Jamer shoots one to right, a base hit. 2-out signal that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Castellanos. Chambers says, let's go. Nicholas is 0 for 3 in the game. 1 swing of the bat away from tying it up. He curls one on the outer edge for a strike. He went around. Strike 2 now on Nicholas. $19,000 plus for this day game here in Cincinnati, and Iglesias trying to close it out. Here's the 0-2. Bouncing ball toward third. Glove there by Suarez. His throw is high, but in time, and the Reds will sweep this 2-game series. They win it 5-3. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. John Keating, Craig Monroe, Tigers Live postgame.